I love iris. And these are just beautiful. I have an iris at the garden. I had to move down there because my landlord was doing work on this house and said to get the plants out of here. So I've had it for years and years, and it's never bloomed, but it has buds on it, and I bet now it's bloomed. So I'm going to the garden to find out. Well, here's the entryway. And right down here, I'm very happy to see all of this liatris. There they are, the iris I've been waiting 4 years to see. It is a beautiful color. Oh, they're stunning. I thought they were red. But that is just beautiful. Look at that flower. Now, my landlord said, Ruby, you got to move your plants out of here because I'm going to be fixing the house. And I just bought these, so I put them up here at the garden. Here's other buds going to come up. And so here they are. And they didn't bloom for several years, and I couldn't figure out why. Well, it turns out that I had them buried too deep. And I had to get rid of some of this dirt, and I took it back, and it remedied it, and this year, there they are. So, son of a gun. My iris. Wow. I'm impressed. Very cool. Welcome to my garden. That's nice. And it is a very welcoming little garden, too. I love looking at them. All the different things people plant. Oh, now there's a smart person. The mint is in the pot. Very good. I'm not going to want to talk about mint after a while. I had to come down here and see this. This is so cute. You must be a scarecrow. And there's a lot of marigolds in here. Somebody's preparing for bug deterrence. Pretty good. And here's the lively little garden we looked at before. Oh, how cute. She's got a lot of stuff in there now. Look at how she maintains it. This is all wet from being watered. Or he, I'm not sure who it is. But this is a beautiful garden, and it's producing. Look at these tomatoes go. Whoa. Yeah. Spinach, this is it. That's a garden. Pretty good. Now, this little border garden that's around the house is all perennials. And here come lilies, and you can see the buds here. Little, but they're coming. These come up by themselves. They're perennial. Even these onions are perennials. And so, peonies, they're perennials. They come up by themselves every year. No one has planted this garden except, well, there are basically two kinds of plants. There are annuals and there are perennials. Now, all the garden seed plants are annuals, like tomatoes, turnips, beets, everything that we're planting for the summer. So you'd think that everyone was planting annuals, but not everyone plants annuals. For food in a garden, annuals is the major thing. But for flowers, there's also perennials, and there's some food things that are perennial. These seeds are two different flowers. Here is alyssum, and right here it says annual. These seeds are annuals. That means that they bloom and live only for 1 year and then they die. They're annuals. This Shasta daisy is a perennial. So a perennial means that it will come back the next spring and it will come back every spring, and it'll always be there. So we have annuals and perennials. So while we're planting a garden for food, we're thinking mostly along the line of annuals. It was what I tried to portray for the last 4 years of the opening, the entryway into the garden, that I wanted to do it all in perennials so we didn't have to plant it again and we didn't have to till. Because a perennial garden, you don't do anything to it. It just comes back every year. And let me give you an example of my garden outside around the house. This that borders the house, these are all perennials. And that means that no one planted this spring. They come back every year. And way back there you see lamium. I don't know if you can see it because it's in the shade. There's some beach roses, and there's peonies that you can see in bloom. These are a bunch of beautiful lilies when they bloom. And here we have a peony in bloom. We have a peony down in the spice garden. And all these just come back by themselves. Even the little blue flowers back in the back, called periwinkle, come back. And this great big monster, hosta, comes back every year. It's flat to the ground, herbaceous, meaning that everything dies back and you don't see anything but the ground. And then it comes back, grows all back in. Hostas, more peonies, and then of course iris or perennial. This is primrose. Primrose is down at the garden now. Mugo pine. These are all perennials. I do nothing, they come back. Black-eyed Susan. And they'll come back every year. And over here we have golden sedum, really getting golden. So it's a lot of fun, but it's a perennial garden. Perennial gardens can have a succession of flowers, one right after the next. First we had iris. Well, actually we had daffodils and many others before that. But after iris came the peonies. And after the peonies, here is primrose. Just starting, and it's going to have a great big flare of yellow splash all over this area. One last goodbye to the iris. So once these plants are able to take hold, they can be there every year and have a succession of growth, a succession of plants and flowers that's permanent. Nobody has to plant them every year. This is primrose. It will spread out and become big. And every year it'll be there. Liatris, every year it'll be there. It just needs a chance to spread out. No mulch, no tilling. And look, I thought all the elephant ears died from being frozen. And there's some that are up. They're just late. That was refreshing. And look at this garden. We've got someone that Harold found from the Methodist Church willing to come up and help us weed. I've got some thanking to do. The community gardens, thanks to people who did the weeding. Along with myself, I was getting so far behind I couldn't get caught up. Isn't that beautiful? Finally, control.